All the time. Let me tell you what a libertarian is. Libertarian is someone who says you can be as liberal or as conservative as you want to be. Just don't force others to be like you.
Got it.
That's what we are all about. We are all about long-term solutions, not short-term solutions. We're all about changing culture, not just changing law. Law, we have to remember something. At the end of almost every single law is a guy or a gal with a gun who will put you in a cage. And if you don't want to go in that cage, he or she is going to kill you. That means you only use law when it really matters, not just because I'm angry, not because I don't like you, not because you should do some activity I think you shouldn't do or whatever the case may be. It's only for important things like life and liberty and property and things like that. That's when you use violence. That's when you use force. That's what libertarians are all about. Welcome to Libertarians Drinking Coffee Live. The brand is strong. Yes, it absolutely is. I'm so happy you decided to join me for a short time this afternoon to talk about people who are trying to make impact in their local areas. I know it sounds crazy, right? But we're trying to make impact in our local areas, and I am very lucky that I have with me today the one, the only activist, the libertarian, the one who I see going all over the country trying to make things better. Martha Bueno, how are you?
I'm fantastic. Thank you so much for having me on, Larry. I appreciate this.
Absolutely. And for those of you who want more on Martha, head over to our Facebook page, Martha for Miami. And it's written out, F-O-R, not that super cool for thing, which I think written out's better, right? She's got it the better way. So I got to ask you, Martha, you've been involved with the movement for a while. This isn't your first rodeo.
Right.
Aren't you the vice chair now of your current party?
I am. I've been the vice chair now. This is my 4th year. So
there we go. So vice chair of your current, affiliate. Why decide to run now of any other time, and why commissioner?
Well, first off, I'm already elected to a local office. I am a community council member, so it's not my first rodeo. I've already I didn't actually have to run for that one. I just showed up, kind of. We talk about this in the Libertarian Party. There's so many seats that just go empty and go appointed. Yes. So I ran for that seat and got it without much effort. So this is my first real campaign.
Nice.
But it's the next step up. I believe firmly that the biggest impact we can have is here locally.
Yes.
I don't want to run for a seat that's too big, if that makes sense. I believe that I can make the most impact right here where I live, right here where, I know how much we're suffering and the issues that matter the most.
Yes.
And I think that that's where I'll have the best impact on people.
I love that. I really love the fact that you are trying to make impact locally. That's amazing. You have some friends here already. Joe says, hey, Martha and Larry. So you got a friend already. And then Tim says, Martha Bueno, my Twitter friend. Thanks for running for office. I do appreciate that. I'm glad you're looking local. That's amazing. So let me ask, there is probably, 1,000 issues you could talk about. Are there like 2 or 3 for you that kind of float to the top in your area that are maybe more of a priority for you than others?
Well, yeah. So let's look at the job I'm looking for. The job is a commissioner, which what we do is it's about the money that Miami-Dade collects in revenue, and then how it's spent. And there's a whole bunch of corruption. I talk about this. I do a show with Zach Foster in Spanish, and we talk about this quite a bit. Miami-Dade, we have just over 2 million people in population. And our annual budget is $9 billion as a starting point. So billion with a B. Nothing.
I'm from New York. New York is 90 billion. Ooh. I'm not even joking. 90. You guys are high school. Come on, 2 billion.
Yeah. No, compared to New York, we are high school. You're right.
I'm kidding. Totally teasing.
But we are the 7th largest county in the state. In the country, I'm sorry. So, there's a huge budget, and it's funny because the seat pays just over $6,000 a year, and yet it costs over $1 million to get into the seat. And so you have to wonder why that is. Right. And the reason is because you're one of 13 people that controls a $9 billion+ budget. Absolutely. And so I think that's my number one priority is at least bringing awareness to the people that live here. Right. what's going on and where our money's being spent, because there's a large percentage of Miami-Dade citizens who are not going to be able to pay their property taxes.
Oh, right. Sure.
Yes, I think the number, and I'm not 100% sure, but it's over 50% of Miami-Dade is in some sort of trouble or one way or another on their property.
Oh my God, that's horrible. Wow.
Yep. And as you know, this is of course with COVID. So you look at the situation in Miami-Dade, people have been suffering. Businesses were closed, and still our commission managed to raise the amount of money we have to pay in property taxes. So you have all these people hurting. You have all these people at home. You have all these issues. And they were like, you know what? Let's raise the budget. And what did they raise the budget for? Oh, we had extra furniture that they needed for buildings that aren't even in use currently because everything's shut down.
So what you're actually saying is you're saying this is a massive $9 billion budget that is open for you said 13 people, is that right?
There's 13 commissioners, that's correct.
So 13 people open for corruption, and there's nowhere near as much transparency as there should be. You're looking for transparency and accountability. Am I reading you right?
You're perfect. You're right on the money.
There we go. Transparency and accountability. And it seems like that shouldn't be a difficult thing. But what I feel like, right, and please tell me if I'm wrong. I know what it's like here. You tell me if it's the same over there. Here, what winds up happening is we become so worried about some outside issue as distraction. Like, don't worry about this. Worry about, whether kids are, going to school. Let's just only focus on that. And don't worry about transparency. It's almost like distraction. Or let's defund the police and let's not worry about, where the money's going or where it's coming from, right? I feel like we're constantly doing distraction. Do you have the same thing in your area?
Similar. I think the biggest issue in Miami is just people don't know where to look. Our local stations are not covering the commission meetings. So there are local journalists. There's one in particular that we call Political Cortadito, which Cortadito is a Cuban coffee, a style of Cuban coffee. And so every morning you get your Political Cortadito, for example, and they're talking about these issues. But her readership is not nearly the size that it should be. And there's really not a whole lot of places where you can get this information from.
So you're looking almost as a way of using your position as a bully pulpit to almost be like a watchdog on the other 12.
Right.
I like that.
I don't know that I will be able to. One of 13 is a hard sell, right? I mean, I hope to be able to make friends within the commission and be able to sell them on liberty and these ideas. But you know how it is when you're in politics. I believe that these are good people and well-intentioned, but at the end of the day, in order to get that $1 million to get into this office, you have to accept a lot of checks from a lot of companies, and at the end of the day, they own you. Yeah. And so, I believe that people are put in tough spots, and I don't believe I can be purchased.
So maybe there is a systematic change that you could help bring aboard, right? Maybe, generally speaking, if there's a lot of corruption, usually it's not because there are a lot of corrupt people. Usually it's because it's a corrupt system that rewards corrupt activity.
Right. And it's something like the salary. I mean, I'm not looking to raise a salary because I'm going to take a salary and I want to get rich off of this. But if we're going to be sincere about the problem, you can't pay people for a full-time job $6,000 a year. Something in Miami, where the living expense is way much more, and then pretend that they're not going to, put their hands in the cookie jar. And one of the big issues we have is people, their friends come we have this project and I'm going to give it to my buddy because my buddy's going to pay me on the back end, and it's going to be valuable for me. So I think just bringing that awareness and letting people know, here's where you can find the information for yourself. Here's the budget. The budget is very hard to read, as you can imagine.
Sure.
And so, the budget for the commissioners is close to $20 million. So they only pay $6,000, but our whole budget for the whole office is $20 million.
There's some extra stuff going on. Yeah, there's something go there. Yeah, 6,000 times 13 is nowhere near 20 million. It's not
even near 1 million. I mean,
it's not there at all. Wow.
Right, and I mean, they get some allowances for cars and the cell phone and so on. So let's assume that at the end of the day, it's $100,000. That still doesn't account for $20 million. So
right, absolutely. Yeah.
So
wow. Okay, that's great. So you also you have another fan, Martha from Miami, then Martha for Florida. Look at that. See that already? People already got you promoted. See that? They already got you promoted. I love it. It's amazing. For those of you who want to help Martha out, look, she's going to need assistance. She's going to need money, as she said, without those big companies throwing the cash her way. She's going to need bodies, people to assist her in certain ways. If you can, there's a link right in the description. Click on that. It says to donate. Click that link. If you can help out Martha, go ahead, throw her some cash if you can. If you can't, no worries. If you're not in that position, a lot of people aren't. She does need help. Just go to her Facebook page, reach out to her and say, hey, I'm ready to do some social media, attack dogging for you. I'm ready to be your Twitter army. Let her know that so she can get you to help out and put together a good team together so you can get her social media straight. I would love that. Absolutely. Sam says, awesome guest. I'm sure there are many people that have similar challenges. Thank you for shining a spotlight. There we go. Awesome. I love that. So one of your issues you mentioned is kind of transparency in the budget, accountability. Is there another piece there that or did I miss it? Oh no, the other piece you were talking about was people in trouble not being able to pay their taxes.
right. And I mean, yes, people not being able to pay their bills. I mean, the whole issue behind property taxes, I have a problem with that. People never owning their own home. I lived with my grandfather when I was 21 years old. I had a son very early in life, and I moved in with my grandfather for the cheap rent. And that's when I learned if I hadn't moved in with him and helped him out, he would have lost his home. And, that's just my experience. Imagine how many people there are. So I think there's a lot of problems, and bringing the awareness. If we can lower our taxes in Miami-Dade County, it's of every dollar we pay, 22 cents goes to house people in jail, whereas only 2 cents go to our health care. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I had no idea it was that high.
It's very bad. And a lot of those crimes, those people sitting behind bars, as you know, our justice system is a disaster. A lot of those people that are sitting behind bars haven't even been formally tried. They're sitting there for victimless crimes. There's a lot of waste in that system. In Miami, we still can arrest people for cannabis possession. I
know, New York the same.
Even though it's legal here, we have a legal medical system. So one side of us is saying, hey, this is a medical thing. You could totally have it. But if you don't pay this extortion fee to the state and get a card of $75 plus go visit a doctor twice a year, which is $200-300 because insurance won't cover it. So all in, you're about $600 in to get out of jail free card, basically. Because that's what it is. Nobody in the history of humanity has died from cannabis use. So, yeah. There's just so many issues. There's so many things that matter to me.
So is that, I mean, I don't know what you could do as a commissioner when it comes to cannabis, right? That would be a state issue, right?
That would be a state issue. I think that the most that I could do is push something, whereas in Miami-Dade County, we no longer arrest or, something along those lines. So like something can be done. I'm not sure just yet what that issue, what it is, but I'm somebody that believes wholeheartedly, not only in cannabis because I use it myself, but in the fact that the U.S. government has no right to tell humans what they can and cannot put into their body. It's
absolutely
our body.
So, Morno, who's actually Jonathan, I think. Martha, please go on my show. We'll discuss living in red and blue states as libertarians. See, you already have some more press already. See that? There we go. Yes.
Yes. Reach out to me, Facebook or Twitter. And absolutely, I'd love to come on.
For those who want more, please. Facebook, it is Martha for Miami. Reach out to her there. Get some more information about what she's doing. So I see you have a big chunk that you're trying to deal with. I guess the question becomes, with today's world, we have impact. We have COVID in New York State. You don't have that big of a shutdown in Florida, but we do. How are you going to make impact? In other words, is this something to where you're doing more shows like this? Is this I know you do an event coming up here soon in person. Is it more events? Is it phone calling, knocking on doors? How do you think is the way you're going to make impact in your race?
All of the above. I have 18 months, which means that I intend to do as many events as possible. any and all shows that will have me on, I will be happy to come on. I think that the biggest thing that I can do is raise awareness to these issues. Whether I win or lose, I'm here to win, but winning isn't the ultimate goal. If I can just impact somebody, if I can see people, help people see that government isn't the solution, that we, the people, we are the solution. I want people to be empowered to be able to make choices for themselves and be able to live the way they want and not have to be a slave to the government and to what the government says. So I think that's a win in of itself. Of course, I would love to win the seat and be able to make the real impact, because at the end of the day, if you don't have that power to change people's lives, I mean, there's only so much you can do. So,
well, you have an event coming up here. Tell me about the event that's coming up here. There's there's like stars coming to hang out with you, aren't there?
There are some big stars. So my big push also is the Hispanic community. Miami is a very Hispanic town, but on top of that, Latin America is, they're looking for liberty too. Liberty isn't just for our borders. And so my good buddy, Zach Foster, and I started Libertarios Hispanos. And we do a weekly show Wednesday nights, and we talk about libertarian issues in Spanish. We create content in Spanish. For Joe's campaign, we were dubbing her things in Spanish. And Gloria Alvarez, who is a huge Latin American star, she's been on John Stossel's show. I mean, Reason Magazine and her.
Justin's a fan. He just gave her heart eyes.
I mean,
yes.
She is amazing in all ways. I absolutely adore Gloria. I think she's doing something, especially in the Hispanic community, where we haven't quite broken the glass ceiling the way we have in America. She's doing some amazing things. So she's coming, Gloria, Antonella Marti, Spike Cohen, and a whole bunch of other people.
Nice.
They're going to come down to Miami. We're having an in-person event. They will be signing books. They will be, just good time.
So for information on that, they can head over to your Facebook page, Martha for Miami. Is that true?
That is true. I have the event there. We are going to be changing it up a little. I think we might move it from location just because we're having some issues at the moment. So I will make sure to update everybody, but we are going to be having this event one way or the other. We just might have it in a different location.
So Benjamin brings up, if either one of y'all would run as a Democrat or Republican, you would actually win. Is this a partisan race, or is it nonpartisan?
It is a nonpartisan race. But so in addition to that, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
in addition to that, there's a problem with the Republican and Democrat machine. And that is that they do give you all of these good things. They give you access to platforms. They give you money. They give you a machine that helps you win. But in accepting that, you also accept that they will tell you how you have to vote and how things happen. And I'm not willing to do that. So if winning means that I have to sell myself, then I'm sorry, it's just not for me.
Well, Benjamin, there's your answer. Awesome. I like that. So Luis says, Latinos for liberty. So Luis is on your side. I like that. That's good. So the Libertarian gang. It's lit. I think that's true. Yes, it is completely lit. You are correct. Yes, absolutely. So, John says, reach out to Jorge Masvidal. Did I say that right?
Masvidal. Yes. I actually was at an event where he received an award a long time ago. I don't know. I think that there's a lot of places where we just need to, we need to have more voices. I'm sick of the red and the blue. If people just gave libertarians a chance to speak, I think they'd have a lot more in common than they think. We're not all crazy. I'm sure some of us are. I have my moments. Yeah,
some of us are.
I have my moments, but I think that we can make some changes. We can do some real. And I want to be as real and transparent in all of these things. I don't want there's that political speak that I feel that's a lot of people do. And it's, I'm going to do all these things. And then they get into office and they don't. I'm telling you, I'm telling your audience, I know the limitations of the office. It's only a budget type of thing for the commission and rules that apply to people here. And that's what I'm focused on. I can't promise you that we're going to all of a sudden allow immigration in Miami. That's just not the role of what I'm running for. So
no, I love it. You got to say what you can do, and you're going to focus on one thing, which is, dealing with that transparency, dealing with that accountability. of a budget that looks like it's a little shady. So maybe you want to cast some light on that so it's not so shady. I love the idea. As you know, I'm a big fan of let's get some baby steps, right? Let's just keep moving. Let's turn. I feel like, and you tell me if I'm wrong here, I feel like our country is still facing towards oligarchy and monopoly and dictatorship. We're not there yet, but we're marching directly towards it. I would like us to turn us around and face freedom. Just be in that direction.
We've been going down that direction for a while, the oligarchy monopoly. I mean, just today I was having a conversation with a friend from Latvia, and he's got this amazing Wi-Fi that he buys for, I think it was $30 a month. Meanwhile, because his internet was fantastic and clear and mine kept glitching. And I'm forced to buy my Wi-Fi from Xfinity. I have no option. There's no other
is that
company
right?
in my area. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I have no other option. And so, there's still monopolies.
Wow.
We have tons of monopolies here.
And you would think a country like Latvia, what's going to be 2 million people in Latvia? I mean, it's probably more people in Miami than there are in Latvia, right? That'd be my assumption. Right. I only know of one city in Latvia. I think it's Riga. I think that's the only city I know in Latvia.
I know very little. He contacted me and we did a podcast. I was on his podcast, and I really enjoy the conversation, and we've continued chatting. And
but it's sad that a country that small is freer than us.
Yeah.
And weren't they a former Soviet republic?
I believe so. I'm not 100% sure.
Please. I'm sorry. I am a history geek, so I always think of these things. I'm a history geek. I think
I'm sure that it's something like that, but I'm not very familiar with Latvia.
It's crazy that the former communist countries sometimes have more freedom than we do. That shouldn't be true, but
that's certainly true of Georgia. I don't know if you were aware of. I know when you came to our convention, you did meet Pierre, a good friend of mine, and he moved to Georgia, and I went to visit him last year, and I was amazed. They have Bitcoin ATMs in Georgia, and this was 2019 before COVID. Oh, absolutely. There is so much freedom in other parts of the world, and we're convinced that it's here in America. Their president in Georgia is a woman. I mean, and they're 30 years old.
Do you know who was born in Georgia? Joseph Stalin.
Yeah.
Yes. People don't know that, but that's true. He was born. Stalin was born in Georgia, and more freedom in Georgia than we have here. And Stalin,
and they've only had 30 years to do this because they were under Soviet occupation until 30 years ago. So, I mean, the fact that they've gotten their stuff together in such a short period of time, I think it's amazing. And as Americans, we don't really know a whole lot about the rest of the world. A lot of us don't travel as much as we should or learn these things. And I think that
very true.
You travel a little and you learn, and it's amazing.
Absolutely. Well, somebody's liking you. Jeff says, I like her. So you got somebody who likes you. And then Daniel, well, you're his hero. So there we go. I love that. So
I think that's a big word, and but thank you.
All good. Absolutely. So Joe's on your side. He says Republicans and Democrats aren't working for the people.
They aren't. They've had 166 years to make up all the rules, and they've made the rules to favor themselves.
Absolutely. Desiree says, "Be bold, vote gold." Well, you got a lot of fans here. And then Moore's like, one state at a time, spread liberty. I would actually even go one city at a time.
Right. Do what you can in your neck of the woods.
Yes. Oh my God. I'm so gonna steal that, and I'm probably gonna give you like no credit. I'm just gonna.
You know what? I'm pretty sure I've stolen all of your ideas. I mean, naming bridges and giving it corporate sponsorship. I've stolen that idea. I'm pretty sure I've said that somewhere. And I'm like,
it is now yours.
Or the 80%, being a libertarian, 80%. I've stolen that. I bring you up though. I do give you credit for that.
You don't have to steal it. No worries. It's a game of everybody. It is yours. I love that. It's very good. So yes. So I'm gonna grab a couple more if I could. Sure. Peter says Infinity is a major provider in Miami. Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. I totally get that. Yes. And of course, someone else says, I steal Larry's ideas all the time. So I appreciate that. So let me ask you, though. I mean, obviously, I hope you win. I know you're going to run to win. I know you'll raise money. I know you'll raise a team. And by the way, for those of you who want to help her out, there's a link in the description. It says to donate. If you've got some dollars, you can donate, particularly if you live in Florida. I mean, it affects you directly if you live in Miami or in Florida. So if you live in that state, please consider heading over to that. Click that button. Donate what you can donate. Even $10 helps. $1,000 is better. but $10 is good. Whatever it takes, it's all good.
1,000 is the maximum for the entire race. Just letting people know.
So there we go. You could take care of her right like that. Done. $1,000 done. Easy day. But $10 is fine too. And if you don't have the money, no worries. She still needs help. She needs bodies. She needs help. People who will do things. Heading over to our Facebook page, Martha for Miami. Let her know you're available. Jump on, help her out with her social media. Jump on her Twitter account. All those things, whatever the case may be. Liking, commenting, sharing, and putting up some really cool memes. The meme wars are a thing. I mean, they are a thing.
I mean, the memes are weird. I had a meme for Joe's campaign. I don't know if you ever saw it, but somebody, made a meme out of a picture of Joe and myself with a bottle of wine, and Joe towers over me.
Yes, absolutely.
I am that short, just in case. I know you know, but other people ask me. So yes, I am that short.
There we go. So do you have another answer for what a win might be, right? Obviously, we hope you win. We try to support you to win, obviously. But if you don't win, is there a secondary thing that might happen that you might go, you know what? I mean, in my race, it was very easy, right? In my race, if I got 50,000 votes, which I knew I was going to get, I got ballot access for the state. So I had a very easy secondary win. Not everybody has that, though. It isn't crystal clear for everybody. Do you have one?
I think just opening up minds and just being able to bring awareness to the issues that matter to us, that's a win. I consider that winning. I consider more people in Miami knowing about the issues, more people in Miami being conscientious of what's going on, and possibly affecting the outcome in terms of what the commissioners do. If they see people liking what I do, as I said, there's 13 people. Even if I win the seat, I still have to get along with these 13 people and make sure that, that I get the votes on the issues that matter to me.
Right.
So even if I win, that may not be a win if they bully me into not being able to have a voice. So I think if they see that people are behind this, if they see that people care about these issues, I think it might impact them because everybody has to run. We're staggered. Yeah. So every 2 years, somebody's running for a seat. And so that matters.
You're saying that if you're able to change the discourse, and change the conversation, that by default, you'll change their policies because they want to get elected again. So they'll change their policies.
Let's see how it works out. This is an experiment. We're trying something new, something that I haven't really seen very much of. So we'll see how this goes.
I like it. Julianne says, glad to see more Latino libertarians. There we go. I love that.
Me too. And if you are Latino and you haven't come to Libertario Hispano, please do. I really could use the shares, the likes, the subscribes to the channel. The algorithms don't really like you until you're so whether you speak Spanish or not, the show we do is completely in Spanish, but we need 1,000 subscribers to be able to get the name on YouTube of Libertario Hispanos. Until now, we're like a random set of letters and numbers. So we need that in order to help grow and be able to share a page easier. So if you could please like, share, subscribe, and if you speak Spanish, maybe stick around and hear what's out.
That's great. So Joe has already given me yours already. He already says, do what you can in your neck of the woods, and he puts Larry Sharp. So I've already taken it from you. It's already done.
You know what? You can have it. We can share. We're equal opportunity stealers, taxers, whatever.
I love it. All good. Yes. So Kerry also says he loves you. Republicans and Democrats are one. Okay, there we go. I love that. You have some fans here. I like that. Yes. Wow, love seeing this duo. Go Martha Bueno. Yes, I agree, Lupe. She is right. Yes, absolutely. So you had a lot of fans here. I love that piece. So let me ask, you're raising money, you're building your team out. What's the next step for you? Is it events? Is that the next step for you?
Well, this event that's coming up next week, March 5th, which happens to be 305, and Miami is the 305. So,
okay.
We didn't plan it to be that way, but it just worked out. It was a great number. So we're having that event, and I am planning many, many more to come, door knocking, just everything. I mean, there's nothing I won't do to spread liberty. So if you have an event you want me to come to, I will come. If you have a show you want me to go on, I'm trying to see if the news channels want to hear from me. That for a libertarian, it's a little harder to get onto news shows. So,
I do know.
I'm working for those things.
Peter says, this is the first time I see a libertarian run in the place I grew up. It brings a tear to my eye. Thank you. Oh, look at that. You're winning. You are winning. So Martha, tell me, Is there anything you want to bring up before we wrap this up? Anything you want us to talk about or bring up, or an issue that you want to chat about before we wrap this up?
No. I think we covered a lot. Actually, we covered a lot in 30 minutes.
See that? That's how good we are. I love it. I love it. It is amazing. Guys, please do me a favor. Take a couple of seconds. Head over to our Facebook page, Martha for Miami. See what she's doing. If you think you can help out, help out. If you can like the page, share the page, whatever the case may be, do that to kind of get her name out to the best of your ability. And if you've got some cash to spare, particularly if you're in Florida, but even if you're not, if you think you've got some cash to spare and you want this to move forward, click that link in the description to donate button. It says to donate. Click that link. Head on over there and give whatever you can give. If you can give something, go ahead. Again, $1,000 is the max. If you got it, love it. If you don't, no worries. $10 is fine. It's totally good. She needs things like door hangers. She needs things like, phone bankers. She needs things like sine waves. She needs all those things to make this work. So help out to the best of your ability. Martha, thank you so much for coming today. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Larry. I really appreciate you and everything you've been doing. I mean, you're the man.
I love it. I love it. I appreciate the comment. Everyone else, thank you so much for watching. I will see you all very soon.